Good morning again. For those of you who are just joining, thank you. We're just going to allow a moment or two to allow folks to join in. The numbers are climbing. All righty. Okay. Good morning, everyone. And thank you all for joining us for the non-revenue rail vehicle maintenance facility outreach event. Just a few housekeeping rules before we get started. Again, please keep your audio muted until called upon or until Q&A at the end. We encourage you to turn on your videos for engagement. Imagine if we were what we once knew as an outreach event where we would have the tables around the room and folks would be shaking hands. And remember in the last outreach event, we were just at together. So we definitely want to encourage the engagement to as close as normalcy as we once knew it. Enter in the questions in the chat box at any point so that you don't forget them. But we will take questions at the end, or at some point we may collect questions throughout the presentation. The presentation will be shared to all attendees and presenters after the event. If you're looking for that information. Short but very impactful agenda today. Welcome by our diversity program, our non-revenue facility presentation by Charles Freeman from our infrastructure team. And the reason why most of you DBEs are here today is to meet the primes that are interested in going after the non-revenue opportunity. My name is Jamie Neely. I am the manager of the Small Business Development and Outreach team here at CTA. I am joined by my colleague Chanel Harmon, in addition to the director of diversity programs, Juan Pablo Pareto. A little bit about the diversity outreach plan as it relates to the non-revenue facility. All proposers must submit the following information in their proposals. The DBE outreach plan. How do you plan to connect with DBEs? This is a great example. How do you plan to meet and incorporate new DBEs to your plan, your teams? What's your past DBE performance? If you don't have DBE performance, we will consider M or W. Any of your workforce outreach training and plans, past workforce goal performance, and of course, the utilization of minority-owned financial institutions or even community development financial institutions. Contract-specific goals on this opportunity. We, CTA, only recognize what's called the DBE, the disadvantaged business enterprise, and not M or W. We do have a 30% design goal and a 27% construction goal. DBE must provide a commercially useful function. DBE scope of work must be directly related to the work specified in requisition and within the Illinois Unified Certification Program, the ILUCP. Where you can find some DBEs is by simply going to either CTA diversity website or IDOT. And again, just a reminder, CTA only assesses the credit for DBE certified firms. If you have any questions about becoming DBE certified, please feel free to follow up. How we will be counting the credit, 100% will be considered for the portion of the contract performed by the DBE or the participation in a joint venture. 60% will be considered for materials or supplies that are purchased from a DBE who is a regular dealer. And other consideration may be for the entire amount of fees or commission if the DBE is neither a manufacturer nor a regular dealer. This opportunity also carries workforce goals. We have a new career opportunity goal attached to this one to include 10% of all labor hours and Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act, WIOA, and Section 3 residents. We have the apprentice goal, again, 10% of all labor hours for the participants in the USDOL approved apprentice programs. Lastly, we carry the economically disadvantaged area, EDA goal, with 35% of all labor hours to individuals living in zip codes within a median household income of $40,000 or less. All workforce goals will be tracked via certified payroll submitted through LCP Tracker. Now, for more information about the details of the non-revenue rail vehicle maintenance facility, we have Charles Freeman, the Senior Project Manager from our Senior Project Manager in Capital Construction.
Well, good morning, everyone. I'll talk to you a little bit about our project and what we've got going on. The CTA had a plot of land down at 63rd that they had used to maintain, where they had a building that they maintained all of our non-revenue equipment. CTA has a lot of different types of vehicles in their fleet. Some of them are revenue generating vehicles. Some of them are non-revenue generating vehicles. These non-revenue generating vehicles are vehicles such as snowplows and tampers and flat cars and things that are associated with our work trains. We need two separate facilities, one facility to maintain our revenue cars and one facility to maintain our non-revenue vehicles. This facility, this new facility at the 63rd Lower Yard is the new facility to house for maintenance, manufacturing of parts for our non-revenue fleet. The original building that we had was built back in the 1890s. In 2009, that building, it was actually across the street from the lot that we're looking at right now, which is the 63rd Lower Yard. The original building that was built in the 1890s was up on the north side of 63rd in that 61st yard. That building was torn down in 2009. And since then, CTA has been kind of cohabiting space between our revenue vehicles and our non-revenue vehicles. And that situation has caused a very tight, environment for our mechanics and our crews. So next slide, please. So because we're replacing the building from the 1890s that was located at the 61st yard, this new facility is we're going to be able to separate the repair activities that we had relocated to Skokie shops, bring them back down to 63rd Lower Yard in its own facility, and alleviate all of the inefficiencies of having co-located the two types of fleets. Specific facility needs, the CTA is looking for the ability to be able to work on up to 16 vehicles simultaneously. We'll need to be able to rebuild equipment, manufacture parts. A lot of the equipment that we run on non-revenue, as part of our non-revenue fleet, is equipment that has to be custom built. And so this new facility will allow CTA maintenance and track crews to be able to manufacture equipment or rebuild equipment that you may not necessarily be able to just buy off the shelf from a manufacturer. We'll also be maintaining storage space in the lower 63rd yard. We'll also be providing, again, this is providing facilities for the maintenance and repair of our power and way equipment used for right-of-way maintenance. Next slide. For our program, our conceptual program of the space, interior space of the building, we're expecting about just shy of a 70,000 square foot facility broken out into several different areas, including shop areas, operational support areas, facility support areas, building support areas, and exterior support areas. Each of them have their own functions. Each of them serve specific purposes within the building to support our non-revenue equipment. Next slide, please. Here you'll see a site plan of the 63rd lower yard, of the actual footprint of the building, the area that we're looking to build. To our right-hand side, you will see the street right there is actually 63rd Street on the right-hand side. You'll see the building footprint there to the bottom of your page. You'll see some existential storage facilities off to the upper left-hand side. You'll also notice at the very top, there's an area of land that used to belong to, it used to be a Roberts Motel. That Roberts Motel was also condemned and torn down, and CTA has since annexed that property into the 63rd lower yard. So that property will become storage space for an existing warehouse that we have on the 63rd lower yard. I would like to take time to mention here, as we have the site plan up, if you have not already done so, I certainly encourage you to Google Earth this, or Google Maps this, the site. Take a look around at the site, the environment. There are there's a Norfolk Southern rail yard just to our west. There's an elementary school just to our east. So there's going to be a lot of site improvements that will be required with this contract, such as lighting, such as landscaping, ornamental fencing, that will be crucial to our integration into the neighborhood of the new building. Next slide, please. Again, the delivery method is a design build. We are looking to bring on a design builder to come in and oversee the construction of this project. We are providing the Google Earth link. I'm encouraging all of you to go out, Google Earth the site, definitely take a look at the surroundings and the environment. Part of the phasing and coordination that we're going to keep together, we must maintain all continuity of existing warehouse activities. It is a supply chain warehouse. It does keep the CTA supported. We must not and will not interfere with any of their activities, but we will be sharing that space. We will also keep the use of the east lead track, which is an incline track. If you don't mind, if you could go back to the site plan slide one more time. I want to at least try to identify where that incline comes down. If you're looking at the 63rd Street there, just between the building footprint and the area that we identified as the Roberts Motel area that's being annexed in, you'll see an entranceway there, and just in to what we're looking at would be just below the driveway entrance into the facility is that incline. It actually crosses 63rd Street as it descends into the 63rd lower yard. All right, so we'll go back to the next slide, please. So we're going to try to segregate the building construction activities to our northeast quadrant of the site. There will be some work required in the northwest quadrant of the site, but we'd like to try to isolate each work area, keeping them separate, keeping them distinct among themselves, as to not interrupt any ongoing warehouse operations on the site. Currently, there are some existing stored materials. Those materials will be out of the way at the time of the project. Also, we are not expecting there to be any track access occurrences, so we're not expecting to take tracks out of service or anything like that. We're expecting to power down everything inside the yard, but the incline track will remain operational, so that will be something that everyone would need to take into consideration. Next slide, please. Our procurement schedule is that, of course, as you already know, the project is out on the street right now. Contractors are reviewing the documents. CTA is anticipating to award this NTP in the first quarter of next year. We're expecting to begin design submittal and CTA review process as soon as the NTP is awarded. We are also expecting contractor to begin construction third quarter or fourth quarter of next year. We're also expecting that as that work continues, we'll be able to, that utility foundation work that can be done at the fourth quarter of 2021 would be preliminary work prior to the actual build out and construction work. So we want to be able to try to get as much utility work, including foundations and so forth, in the ground as possible before we actually get into the next year. Our expected substantial completion date is 730 days after NTP, so we're expecting that date to fall sometime within the first quarter of 2023. Next slide, I think I'm done. You're muted, Jamie, I believe.
Thank you. And thank you, Charles, for sharing that information and details. Next up, we have Meet the Primes. Today we have Mortensen, Kiewit, Clark Construction, as well as FH Passion. And first up, we have Mortensen.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Thanks, Jamie. Thanks, Charles. Appreciate the introduction. My name is Paul Chaburka. I am a project manager with Mortensen and kind of leading this pursuit. Jamie will be sending out a list of attendees after this, so I will send out contact information and some additional information on how to get involved to all attendees after this. So do look for that coming up. Wanted to start with just a little bit of background about the company. Originally, we were based out of Minneapolis. It's still a family-owned company. We've grown a lot since then. Been in business for about 65 years. Right now, we're just over 6,000 team members, nationwide, annual revenue about $5 billion, and that puts us right around 15th on the ENR list. We have a long-standing relationship here in Chicago. We've been working here for over 30 years, over 120 projects in the area and growing. We've definitely grown our footprint here and look to do that more so. We do, emphasize ourselves as a great place to work and a great cultural environment. We've been ranked consistently as a 101st, best and brightest companies to work for in the area. And, a lot of our core values align with, this outreach program. And we really try to emphasize our community involvement. Some of the things we are, heavily involved in is the ACE Mentor program, which is, serving high school students with architecture, construction, and engineering. HACIA, we've been voted Contractor of the Year award. A couple of new things we're doing too are Hire 360, that's not on here, and Revolution Workshop. Those are two programs that, try to promote workforce involvement in, historically underserved communities. So if you're not familiar with those are a good resource to further your outreach for, workforce and small business. Some of the areas we work in, Chicago, obviously we have an office here. I won't go through the whole list, but we are a nationwide company. We have offices across the nation, and we do travel for work throughout the Midwest too. We do some wind and solar in the area. And we also have a federal contracting group that does travel also. It's based out of DC, but we do have some local projects for the federal government. Marketplaces. So just give you a breakdown. I mean, again, I won't go through all of these, but mainly in Chicago, we are heavily involved in aviation, corporate data centers. We are building a large data center out in DeKalb right now. Energy storage, we're working on a job right now for the CTA for EV buses. And then we also do a lot of hospitality, healthcare, and some transportation in the area. The solar and sports is a traveling group, so those are kind of across the country. Okay, subcontractor procurement. So a little bit details on how we would go about, upon successful award for this project. We would stage multiple outreach events. Again, it would be a little bit different, so we'd have to work through that. We can't have the meetings like we used to. Hopefully soon, when this project comes around, we can. But we would, reach out to as many DBEs as we can, have multiple informational sessions about the project. During those sessions, we would go into detail of how our bid procurement schedules, when you could expect the bid procurement, and then how we kind of package those to, promote some more smaller packages that DBEs can be involved in. We've had a really good success doing this and getting new people involved. And it's been a mutually beneficial relationship for us. Just on some recent projects, we've worked with some new contractors, and it's been a great relationship builder by doing these. So I would look forward for some of these events in the future, whether it's for this job or others. We feel that it works for everyone involved. Some of the things we've done in the past. So, we aren't just trying to hit the goals. Again, one of our core values is community involvement. And we really try to exceed, and we see that there's value in creating long-standing relationships with DBEs and smaller subcontractors and businesses. Recently we just finished up the University of Keller Center for University of Chicago. Some of the goals here were listed. This is a little bit different as it has M and WBE, but similar fashion to DBE. And you can see the goals in blue. And then through our outreach programs, right, we had a really good success rate at far exceeding the goals. And it's something similar that we'd like to continue to do. Again, we feel that this has related in a good beneficial relationship for everyone involved. So approach to pre-qualifying. So just kind of want to give you a little bit of background on how we would go about involving subcontractors, how you could submit bids, and the pre-qualification process. We try to make it kind of as easy as possible to become involved, right? The two things we are really looking for is safety qualifications. That's one of the first things we look for. We look for contractors that have a proven safety record, and then some previous experiences doing work in the area. But we do not set really high standards so that we exclude people. Where again, the whole idea is to get involvement, but safety is one of the things that we value highly, and we don't take too many exceptions to. So the software we use is Building Connected, and following this meeting and I get the attendee list, I'll send everyone an invite to there. If you haven't received one already, we have launched this for this project. So some of you that are on this call probably have received an invitation to bid. But this just kind of walks you through, what the status is, confirms that you're bidding, and who to contact if you have additional questions. I just want to close with, I kind of try to make it a reiterative point that we feel that this outreach and our success in the past has created long-standing relationships. We look forward to meeting new people to kind of create a teaming environment, and a partnering aspect to it, for the success, so we can help grow your business and you can help us. We feel that we've been, benefiting almost more from these outreach events by involving smaller businesses with, creates a little bit more diversity, not only in localities, but more so in thinking. And that's, also a core value is inclusion and diversity, right? That creates a collaborative team when you can bring new ideas. So we really look forward to working with some new people on this project and getting involved. And then I'll stick around for any questions afterwards if you guys have any. Thanks, Jamie.
Thank you, Paul. And CTA always loves to hear new and more DBE participation. Next, we have Kiewit.
Jamie, can you hear me?
I can, thank you.
All right, well, hello, my name is Dave Needbala. I'm a project manager for Kiewit here in the Chicago area. It's kind of nice to see some familiar names and faces on the call today. I've been playing on a job in South Dakota for the last couple of years, so it's good to be back and see some of the familiar names. So I want to just start with a little introduction to Kiewit and what we do in the Chicago area. So next slide, please. Kiewit Infrastructure Company. So the Kiewit company as a whole are the number 5 largest contractor in ENR. We pretty much build stuff in every market group you can think of. Here in Chicago, we tend to have more of a focus on the transportation side with some of our CTA work, some large civil structural type projects, and we also have we've made quite a big inroad here with new power infrastructure here in the south suburbs and around the Chicago area. That's a new market here in the last few years that has become quite a big market for us here in Chicago. We try to use our industry-leading design build practices and tools for excellence in project delivery. So we kind of have a specific way that we go about administering design build projects and getting involvement from the different DBE and MBE type firms, both in design and construction. And hopefully over the next couple of weeks, if you're not familiar with it, we can get you a little bit more familiar with it. Next slide, please. Again, specifically for this, like I said, we do projects over all markets, but specifically for this pursuit for the non-revenue maintenance facility, we are targeting subcontract opportunities from the construction aspect in all fields or all scopes of work. So this is just kind of a bullet point list of the scope that is being considered for this project for the new maintenance facility. We'll be accepting subcontract bids and proposals for all of these scopes of work. Similarly to Mortensen, we do use Building Connect as well, and we will be sending invitations out in the very near future to many of you that are on the call and everyone who's in our database. And again, we will get the contact list that Jamie puts together from this meeting and make sure that everyone does get invitations. So if you can see for the building trades, basically, if you can go back real quick, we are looking for sub bids in all trades. There isn't anything specifically that we have determined that we are self-performing yet. There are some things, but we are looking for sub trades or sub bids in all trades. Next slide. Kiewit is committed to inclusion, and we're committed to our process for making sure we maximize and create new opportunities for DBE firms and consultants. We do that by dividing work into economically feasible packages to assist DBEs and ensure equitable and meaningful participation. We want to get the right people doing the things that they do best to make the project a success. We'll actively seek out DBEs that are willing to bring additional value to the project. It's a goal of ours. We want to get new people involved in projects and get them opportunities that they might not have had in the past. Building upon new and existing relationships, we also look to foster long-term partnerships. We've been successful in doing that in some fronts, but we are always looking for other long-term partners. So not just with this project, this whole outreach and the process that's involved means more than just this project. It means relationships for the long term. We're also committed to partnering with the community and industry organizations focusing on small and diverse business. We've had past successes with Dawson Technical Institute, the Chicago Urban League, and multiple other City of Chicago agencies and assist agencies in creating a diverse workforce and a diverse subcontracting community on all of our projects. So we're very proud of our past successes. We're also a proponent of fostering development and growth of existing and potential diverse business partners. So if you come work for us and you're looking to grow, we want to be able to assist you in how you will go about growing and be a part of your growth in the future so that you can go on and bid more work and more diverse work in the future. So we are committed to you as a partner once you're on board. Next slide, please. So the next step for doing business with Kiewit. So I think I stated we're going to get your contact information and we will send something to you. But in the meantime, if you want to get ahead of that, you can send an email to heatherhendrickson@kiewit.com and supply the following information: your company name, main contact name and email, specific packages you're interested in bidding on, and additional service capabilities of your firm, and we will get you added into the Building Connect, our Building Connect library of contractors. Heather, I know you're on the call, and maybe you can't talk. I don't know if you have anything to add, but this is really the starting point for us. I'm sure a lot of you are already in our network already, but if you're not, or you're not sure if you are, please send us an email.
Yeah, or even if you have specific questions feel free to contact me. On this job, my main focus is just answering questions and helping everybody out wherever they need help to bid this particular project.
All right, next slide, please. All right, step 2, signing up for Building Connected to be added to our bidders list. So if you are not already set up, you'll be asked to create an account. There is a link here in this presentation, or Heather can help you get set up with that. But there's a link. It's pretty straightforward on how you get set up. As I said, I think a lot of you are already set up on that system. But if you are not, we will make sure that we get the information to you. Once you've signed up, you'll receive an invitation via Building Connected for any bid package your company's been added to. So it's a pretty simple process. It also allows you to upload your proposals and all of your information, your questions. So it's pretty much a self-service type program. I am not as familiar as it with Heather, as I'm used to more smart BidNet, but this is news to me a little bit. So I'll be learning along with you, but it's fairly self-sufficient. Next slide.
Oh, real quick, one more thing too. There's a link on there as well, not for just this project, but any other projects that Kiewit is currently bidding right now. If you click on that link, you can also bid additional jobs besides this one too with us, and take a look at all the other opportunities we have as well.
So I want to close by saying that, you know, we really look forward to this opportunity and this pursuit, and getting to know additional DBEs that we may not be familiar with, and talking to the ones that we've been working with for a long time. So we're very excited for this opportunity. And Jamie, I think you're going to handle questions at the end, so I'll turn it back over to you.
Thank you, David and Kiewit. Next, we have Clark Construction.
Yes, thank you, Jamie. My name is Joe Pustis. I work here in the Chicago office for Clark. Next slide, please. I think probably 2 slides over. Next one, please. We are a national contractor as well. We do about $5 billion in annual revenue. We have 14 regional offices around the country, and we've been in business for about 113 years. We are a privately held company. And here in Chicago, we also run all of our local work, but also our Nashville, Tennessee work. Next slide, please. So here in Chicago, we've been in this region for 27 years. We've done over $10 billion worth of work, and counting on over 170 projects. A number of those in the last number of years have been with CTA. We look forward to working on that relationship. Next slide, please. So our core values, safety above all. I'll get into this in a second on our pre-qualifications, but safety first, creating opportunities for our people, but also creating opportunities for small disadvantaged businesses, minority women-owned businesses. In a moment here, Javed Abudarabi will get on and talk about our small business strategic partnership program, as well as some of our other small business initiatives. How to get connected with us, similar to some of the other folks on the call here with us, we use Building Connected as well. So after this meeting, we'll be reaching out to all the DBE businesses through Building Connected, getting them teed up with our estimators who are working on the job currently. Kind of as a bigger picture, we are teamed up on the design build side with our partners STV and Ross Barney. So that is our design build team that is pursuing this job. Also, as we get you connected through Building Connected, we have a subcontractor pre-qual process as well. Estimators can get you set up with that link. It's kind of a half an hour of getting into our system to just ask about insurance and safety and your experiences, so that we can team the DBs up with the appropriate bid and trade packages and give them the maximum opportunity to participate in this pursuit. Javed, did you want to jump on, please?
Sure. Thanks, Joe. Hopefully everybody can hear me here. We've had over the last several years a great partnership with CTA on their small business educational series, and in conjunction to that, 6 years ago we launched our strategic partnership program. This is actually a unique program here to Clark, not just in Chicago but nationally, where we mentor small businesses through the process of the whole range of construction management services. And I'm pleased to actually see a few folks who joined us a couple of weeks ago through the CTA's 2020 session that we did hosted virtually. And some of you have already registered for this semester. I actually see a couple of our graduates from past semesters also. So welcome to everybody. And we have an opportunity now to already start our registration campaign for 2021. The really unique thing about this is, we're here today really to focus our efforts on the maintenance facility project. And as important as it is to maximize our participation for this job, we want to make sure that there's opportunities beyond the life of this project. And our peers have also talked about other bidding opportunities to look at. And I think it's really important to know that life goes on both from a workforce standpoint and from a contracting standpoint beyond just this single project. So that's part of what our SPP program is meant to do, is not be tied to a specific project or a specific opportunity, but really be an annual program where small businesses can learn some of the fundamentals of construction management, estimating, scheduling, purchasing. We, along with Mortensen, are part of the Hire 360 movement. And a lot of other contractors here in Chicago have been part of that effort in order to help with certain training programs and workforce development programs as well. So we hope that we can continue this partnership with CTA. We hope to be able to work with each of you throughout this process, whether it be on this job or others, and continue this partnership. So our contact info will be provided here. I'll also put it in the chat, so you can reach out to either myself or Joe for either the partnership program or for the bid opportunity or anything else that we have coming down the pipeline. I'll pass it off back to you, Joe.
I guess back to Jamie, I think.
Is this still a part of your presentation?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry about that. Yes, yeah, we just wanted to highlight on our national experience in different market sectors. We have pretty extensive experience doing rail lines and maintenance facilities around the country. Also alternate delivery, project deliveries. We do a lot of design build. So this is right up our alley. And then I guess the next slide, again, just highlights some of our capabilities around the country. Mostly talking about public infrastructure. That just gives us the experience and the expertise to pursue this job. And that's it, Jamie. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe and Javed. And last but absolutely not least, we have FH Passion.
Good morning, everyone. This is Mary Person. I believe I know a lot of you, and I'm so happy to see some of my old friends from different spaces on there. So I am Mary Person. I am with FH Passion. We are a general contractor, and we are excited about the opportunity to propose on this particular project. And we're actually excited too, at the beginning of the presentation, highlighted one of our favorite projects for CTA, which is our 95th Street Station. Our project team consists of Chris Martell, who is a Senior Vice President of CDM. They're our lead designer, as well as Ben Harbour, who's a project manager. And from the FHP side, Matt Moss, who is our Vice President, who has done many projects for the Chicago Transit Authority and other municipalities around Chicago, and as well as Josh Curran, who will be the project executive for this project. Next slide. Next slide. So our current project schedule, currently our DB, we hosted a DB event on September 22nd that was focused on the professional service side, because we know that it's very important to be as inclusive as possible, not just on the construction side, but also on the professional service side. So we had just a small session for architects and engineers to attend yesterday to be able to just talk and discuss and answer any questions that they may have regarding the design portion of our project. Questions were due yesterday to CTA. And so all of our questions were submitted, but you are free to reach out to us and ask us any questions that you may have. The proposal due date at this time is October the 14th. And we anticipate the notice to proceed to happen right around February of 2021 and our substantial completion around 2023. Next slide. So I'm just gonna go, I think some of the slides got a little jumbled up. I'm gonna just go just a little bit and talk about FH Passion as a whole. We are between a $600 to $700 million company. We have offices here. We're headquartered here, but we have offices in Atlanta, DC, Dallas. We just opened up an Indiana office to support our NICD project, which is another large project for the Transit Authority. And so we have, although we're a large company, we believe we have a small company feel in the sense that we like to network and build relationships and partnerships with our diverse suppliers and contractors. Next slide. Jamie, is it okay if I don't go off the slides? Because I think some of our slides got mixed up.
Sure.
Okay.
Do you want me to still keep it up?
You can just you can go to the last slide that has our name. That way it won't confuse people. So so technically right now where we're at is we're focused on making sure that we connect our lead designer. And Chris, are you on the line?
I am on the line.
So I'm gonna allow Chris just to tell you a little about CDM. We have the pleasure of partnering with CDM for our design team, and he has been very, very vigilant about making sure he reaches out to our diverse community for his design portion. Do you mind telling them a little about CDM?
Yeah, that's not a problem. We have about 5,000 people in our firm. We've done a lot of work over the years for the CTA. Doing environmental engineering work on the EEC contract, general engineering work under the GEC, general planning work under the GPCs. There's two different ones. And then we've done some individual contracts as well. A lot of our focus has been on the non-revenue side of things. So more of the shops, maintenance facilities and such. We're certainly involved in some of the bigger projects in terms of red purple modernization and the red line extension, serving as program managers right now, but have a lot of history working on different shops and maintenance facilities for CTA. So really excited about this project. Appreciate Mary's assistance in reaching out to broader DBE groups. Certainly have a lot of relationships on the DBE sides through past delivery of projects, but I have already gotten to know quite a few new DBEs, at least to us, over the last few weeks. So it's been a great experience. And again, if you have any questions at all, or whether you're a consultant or contractor, please reach out. Again, as others said, it's more than just this opportunity. I mean, the same way contractors look for safety, as engineers, we look for just doing good quality work and familiarity with doing work in the city of Chicago and for CTA. So we can certainly assist. We're a full service firm, and we have architects, mechanical, electrical, plumbing, fire protection, structural, GIS, whatever, civil, stormwater. We have a very large office in Chicago, and we do a lot of different things. So appreciate this is the work types for on the design side of things, what we would look for assistance on. So if you have any of these areas of expertise, please reach out. We've not finalized our team. We're trying to leave it open as long as possible to make sure we're connecting with the right folks. So I'll leave it at that. If that's okay.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Chris. And so the second phase of our procurement plan is to reach out to our construction diverse suppliers and contractors. And so we will host another outreach event later on to network and to bring those contractors a little closer into our project approach. So right now, our focus is to make sure that we are focusing on our lead design team and making sure we match up CDM and Chris's team with the right diverse suppliers. All of our information is on Building Connect. I know a lot of you are connected into the Building Connect system, but what we will do is that we will take the list of anyone that is on today's meeting or anybody that reaches out to us over the next few days and few weeks. We will connect you into our Building Connect system. That way you'll have access to not only the CTA projects, but we have projects going on in aviation right now and CPS. So you'll have access to all those opportunities also. But we'll also send you out a list of our project managers' contact information in case you have specific questions, as well as my contact information in case you have other questions about other opportunities. Thank you, Jamie.
Thank you, Mary. I am just gonna fast forward here. So I'll pause here just so that you guys can capture any contact information for FHP or CDM. And then just for reference, other presenters have put their information, their contact information in the chat box, so you can also refer there, but I'll also include information as I send out today's presentation. Now we will open up the floor to questions. Please insert your questions in the inbox, the chat inbox. We have had a couple come in already, so let me try to scroll through and find them. To the presenters, can you record, I'm sorry, that was for me. Can you request the contractors? Please indicate who your engineering partner is. This will help some of the engineering DBEs follow up for networking. I'm not sure if there's something that you all have now. Does anyone want to comment on that?
Yeah, for the Clark team, our designers, right now our engineer would be STV. And if they need to get in contact with them, to please reach out to myself for Java, and we can get you teamed up with our designers.
Thank you, Joe.
Yeah, this is Paul with Mortensen. Our partner is Transystem on the design side. Again, if you need some contact information, you can go ahead and reach out to me. I put that in the chat box as well.
And this is Mary Person with FHP. I believe you heard Chris from CDM, but Chris will put his contact information into the chat box also.
And this is Dave Needbala from Kiewit, and we are the design effort for this project. We are leading internally through Kiewit Infrastructure Engineers with an architect of JLK Architects.
Awesome. Thank you for that. I think that was the only question, actually. Last call for any questions from our DBEs to our primes. Again, well, thank you all for attending, DBEs included. Thank you, presenters, for your time and efforts to increase our participation for our DBEs and meeting and or exceeding our CTA goals on this opportunity. Either presenters or attendees, if you have any questions or comments or thoughts about this project or any of CTA's diversity programming, please feel free to contact myself or anyone else that's on the screen, Brittany Bowman in compliance, Alexandria in certification, as well as our director, Juan Pablo Pareto. I thank you all for your time. I wish you all the best of luck in building teams and responding to this RFP. And I hope that you all stay connected with CTA. Thank you and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jamie. Appreciate it.
Thank you, team.
Thank you.
Jamie.
What?
Thanks, guys.